It's Championship Saturday from the campus of the University of Montevallo. The ACCC Division II Tournament Championships for the men's and women's programs for the 2024-2025 season. Our first of two games today here on JockJiveSports.com features the top two seeds in the women's section of the Division II Championships. Chattahoochee Valley Community College, the top seed, against the number 2 seed Lady Parsons of Snead State. We welcome you in to the Central State Bank Arena at McChesney Student Activity Center. A happy game day wherever you're watching us from here on Jock Jive Sports. James Hardy with you, along with, at least alongside me, handling the cameras today, Nathaniel McCoy. A couple of outstanding teams going at it to see who advances to the district championship next week over in Tallahassee. That'll take place next Saturday, as Chattahoochee Valley comes in at 19-6 on the season. They've won their last 4 games, and they're coming off of a 54-48 victory over number 4 seed Coastal Alabama North. They come in as not only the top seed, but also, most importantly, scoring offense and scoring defense, the top team in both of those categories, averaging just shy of 70 per ball game and allowing just shy of 50 per ball game. For Snead State, they come off of one of their best performances of the season in an 80-49 victory over Wallace-Selma yesterday, the number 3 seed in the conference tournament coming into this week. For Snead State, they average 69 per ball game, a little more than 69 relative to their scoring average, and they allow 56.6 points per ball game, also second in the Division II ranks of the ACCC this 2024-2025 season. Player to look for, obviously you want your big players to step up in a key game like this, the biggest game of the season for both of these teams. First for Snead State, 4th in scoring in the ACCC Division II this season at 13 points per ball game is Tazzy Harris for the Lady Parsons. And also for Snead State, one of the top 3-point shooting teams, second in the ACCC in scoring offense, and they have a couple of the top 3-point shooters in Division II, in Skylar Lassiter and Jaylee Devine. Certainly maybe the players that you look for that need to step up and have a big game, maybe some of their best games of the season today for Snead State. And for Chattahoochee Valley, they have one of the top players in the entire ACCC this season in Zy Thompson, second in Division II in scoring at 15.5 points per ball game. And then Aaliyah Younger right behind her, third in the ACCC Division II with 13.3 points per ball game. And also for Thompson, she leads ACCC Division II in field goal percentage at 53.6% from the field. A very consistent player around the rim this season. So it should be a very interesting matchup as you have Chattahoochee Valley, the Lady Pirates, with a 4-game winning streak, and also the Lady Parsons of Snead State coming in playing their best basketball of the season as well at 21-6 overall, a 9-game winning streak coming into today for Snead State. Snead State at 21-6 overall, 10-2 in conference play, and Chattahoochee Valley Community College at 19-6 and 12-0 in conference play. We'll let you hear. We have our national anthem coming up, as well as the presentation of our starters. The first of two today, Championship Saturday here at the ACCC Division II Women's Tournament and Men's Tournament Championship here on the campus of the University of Montevallo.
She's a 5'10" freshman from the town of Alabama, number 2, Chattahoochee. A 5'7" sophomore from Oxford, Alabama, number 4, a 5'3" sophomore from Susan, Alabama, number 11, Caitlin Hill. She's a 5'9" sophomore from Adamsville, Alabama, number 23, Nyla Mays. And a 6'1" freshman from Adamsville, Alabama, number 30, Kayla Harris. She's taking a step out. Head coach Kenny Hill, assistant coach LeBron Pratt. Now let's meet the starters for the number 1 seed, Paris from Chattahoochee. A 5'7" freshman from Columbus, Ohio, number 2, Alina Walker. A 5'4" sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, number 4, Niall Lee. A 5'8" freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, number 5, Gabrielle Pass. A 6'1" freshman from Samuel, Georgia, number 20, Scott Thompson. And a 5'9" freshman from Chattahoochee, 24, Cameron DaCosta. Chatt Valley is led by head coach and ACCC Coach of the Year, Jonathan Richardson. The assistant coaches, Latoya Jackson and John Steele. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the ACCC Division 2 Women's Championship game. Let's go.
There you hear our starting lineups for today's ball game, along with our cameraman, Nathaniel McCall. James Hardy with you here on JockJive Sports. A couple of 1-2 matchups here on Championship Saturday of the ACCC Division II Basketball Tournament Finals. Chattahoochee Valley, the top seed. They're in their white tops and bottoms, and the black tops and bottoms for the number 2 seed, Lady Parsons of Snead State. Chattahoochee Valley going to our left here in the opening half, as controlled by Chattahoochee Valley to begin things, as they average just shy of 70 points per ball game. Look for Zy Thompson, number 20, as far as the impact player for Chattahoochee Valley today. She gets the entry fee, gets free, little bunny shot in close for the first points of the ball game. So that's a good way to get things started for Chattahoochee Valley, as Thompson comes in averaging 15.5 points per ball game, second in scoring in Division II of the ACCC. Man-to-man defense for Chattahoochee Valley as they turn it over. Chattahoochee Valley brings things up the floor with Younger, as they'll find Thompson in the paint. Short jumper is up and good for 2. I beg your pardon, Cameron DaCosta, the freshman guard, her first 2. As Chattahoochee Valley, they've made their first 2 field goals early on as we are just underway. Here's the first 3 of the ball game. That's short, no good. And rebound goes to Niall Lee, the sophomore guard for Chattahoochee Valley. CVCC out of Phoenix City, Alabama, and Snead State out of Boaz, Alabama, up in the northeastern portion of the Yellowhammer State. Lee has it. Good look as the first 3 up for Chattahoochee Valley is an air ball, as the miss by DaCosta, and Snead State has the basketball out of bounds. So the first miss of the ball game for Chattahoochee Valley, as the winner advances on to next week's district tournament game against the winner of the Florida Community College State Championship. Across the timeline, and Impaired Thompson tried to draw the charge that time. With the basketball is Divine. Tight defense from the Pirates. They'll swing it over as we'll have a whistle and our first foul of the ball game. And that comes with almost 2 minutes played here in the opening quarter. So the foul on Younger. That's her first personal foul. And the sideline out of bounds coming up, or baseline rather. Good look in the paint as the short shot up and in to get Snead State on the board. So the field goal goes to Tazi Harris, the freshman. And as you mentioned, the Lady Parsons' first bucket of the ball game. As coming the other way, Lee leaves it off and cutting to the basket. And the shot up and no good for Chattahoochee Valley. Nice look up ahead as the layup no good. Good look that time by Devine, but for Snead State, they were not able to finish. So Chattahoochee Valley maintains their slim lead still very early on as the runner off the back rim, no good for Lee. Offensive rebound and taken away by the Parsons. Hill has it, pushes it up the floor as an NBA three off the back rim, no good. Offensive rebound by Mays as the shot up no and rebound goes to the Pirates. Chattahoochee Valley on the move. Good look as the short jumper, actually mid-range, no good for DaCosta. And offensive rebound for CVCC. Good look underneath the basket as the shot blocked out of there as pass couldn't get it up at least toward the rim. And the rebound to Snead State. They're on the move. Strong drive to the basket and the kick out for three up and off the side rim, no good for Devine. As we'll have a rebounding foul go on Snead State. Foul on Nayla Mays, her first. And the first team foul for the Lady Parsons. So we'll have our first substitution in the ball game. As Chattahoochee Valley has control. So far, a couple of field goals for Chattahoochee Valley. Thompson and DaCosta with all of the scoring for the Pirates as the entry pass deflected and stolen. A steal by Jemiah Hill, who checked in at the last timeout, and we'll have a blocking foul coming the other way on Chattahoochee Valley. See who they call the foul on. And goes on Zy Thompson, her first personal foul. So second team foul for Chattahoochee Valley. Inbounds pass swatted out of there and out of bounds. Nice job by Gabriel Pass, the freshman, to swat it away. So we've played over 3.5 minutes so far of the opening quarter. As Chattahoochee Valley on a scoring drought right now of a couple of minutes. Turnaround shot rolls off that time. No good. A miss by Tazi Harris from about 4 feet. And Chattahoochee Valley walks it up the floor after the rebound. Only one field goal so far. That comes from Harris for Snead State. Lee has it. They'll work the half-court offense as top of the key. And now driving into the ball game is Carter Ransom. As in-close shot is no good. A rebound by Snead State. They'll push it up the floor to the far side. Devine has it. Caitlin Hill between the circles as she'll go against some tight man-to-man defense by Lee. Devine with it. Tries to work off the screen. Thompson guards Harris that time as Harris able to draw the foul. Foul goes on Jerry Carter Ransom. That's her first personal foul. And so Chattahoochee Valley now with 3 team fouls here in the opening quarter. So one more foul to give before Snead State gets to the bonus. They're looking for Devine off the inbounds. Able to get it in the corner as they swing it over to Harris. Outstanding job of defense so far by Chattahoochee Valley in this opening quarter. Snead State a tough time getting it in as Harris forces it up, no good. And rebound deflected and goes out of bounds. And they'll say stays with Snead State. So a second opportunity for Snead State as they'll inbound it at the baseline. We'll have a couple of substitutions for the Lady Parsons as Harris and also Hill get their first breathers. Wide open look off the inbounds as the 3 ball rattles around and falls. So the 3 up and good as that gives Snead State their first lead of the ball game. So a scoring drought of about the last 4 minutes now for Chattahoochee Valley. There's a backdoor look toward Thompson, and she'll try and feed it in as the turnaround is up and good. So Summer Hicks checked into the ball game at the last timeout, the sophomore forward, her first field goal as Chattahoochee Valley back on top. They'll swing it around as Mays has it, tries to drive, and will have an offensive foul. Mays lowered the shoulder that time to try and get position. And so that's the second team foul that goes on Chattahoochee Valley. And also for Nayla Mays, her second personal foul, as we'll have a timeout on the floor. Appears to be a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it here, the first timeout of the ball game for either team with 4:16 to go in the opening quarter. On deck today on Championship Saturday here at Montevallo, it is Snead State against Coastal Alabama North. And so far, a defensively dominated early start to this game here at the ACCC Division Division II, I beg your pardon, championships for the women of Chattahoochee Valley and Snead State. Snead State on a 9-game winning streak coming into today. So far, at least the scoring for Chattahoochee Valley, a field goal each for Summer Hicks along with Zy Thompson and Cameron DaCosta. And then you have Skylar Lassiter with a 3 for Snead State, one of the leading three-point shooters in the conference at 40% on the season. Also Tazi Harris with a couple. And so both teams have combined for just 5 field goals for almost the first 4 minutes of this first quarter. And both teams solid defensive squads, as Snead State giving up just 56.6, and Chattahoochee Valley giving up less than 50 per ball game. So possession's going to be at a premium, it appears, the way things are going early on. A zone look now for Snead State, as they want to see what Chattahoochee Valley can do at the guard spot for their offense. They'll swing it around the perimeter. Will the Lady Pirates? A skip pass over to the near side. And a loose ball stays with Chattahoochee Valley. 5 on the shot clock. A deflection and a steal. A loose ball and taken right back, but a tie-up will send it over to Snead State. Chattahoochee Valley, they had a tough time figuring out that 2-3 zone. And so the Lady Parsons an opportunity to retake the lead, as we'll have a substitution for Snead State. Lamaya McGrew checks back in. Snead State going to our right here in the opening half. First quarter action here in the women's tournament final, Division II for ACCC. Harris gets free. Nice look at the basket and an even better defensive play. Second and third try, no good. And missed opportunity for Snead State as it goes out of bounds to Chattahoochee Valley. You had an opportunity underneath the basket that time for the Pirates, but they were not able to convert after a nice look up ahead by Tazi Harris. A matchup zone look now as Snead State is changing up the defense against Chattahoochee Valley. Good look to Zy Thompson as she has to turn around for the shot. Short, no good. And rebound deflected to Snead State, rather. Emma Garcia, the sophomore, into the ball game. Snead State, they've been stuck on 5 points for about the last couple of minutes. As a good look to Harris and an offensive foul. Excellent defense by Zy Thompson to draw the foul on Tazi Harris, her first. So Harris, her first, as we mentioned, and the third team foul for Snead State. Also 3 team fouls for Chattahoochee Valley. And there you see it has been at least deadlocked at 6-5 for about the last 90 seconds to 2 minutes of this game. Almost a double dribble that time. As they'll swing it inside. Thompson tries to go in, and offensive foul. You could see that a mile away as Zy Thompson tried to create space in the paint. And that's her second personal foul. And at the next foul for Chattahoochee Valley, Snead State will shoot free throws for the rest of the quarter. So 14 fouls now for the Lady Pirates as the Lady Parsons of Snead State inbound against Chattahoochee Valley. Full court pressure. The Snead State men will take on Coastal Alabama North following this ball game. We're at the McChesney Student Activity Center at Central State Bank Arena on the campus of the University of Montevallo. In the heart of Central Alabama, almost the geographic center of Alabama. As both offenses, a tough time trying to get good looks at the basket as the ball bounced out of bounds off of the Chattahoochee Valley. So we'll have another substitution for Snead State. Just trying to figure out, you got the dark on dark combo for Snead State going, but it does appear that Caitlin Hill checks back into the ball game. Inbounds pass, a bad one, stolen by Chattahoochee Valley. DaCosta on the steal and the run out as her layup is good for two. Her second field goal. As coming the other way, shot up and no good. As the ball goes out of bounds off of Snead State and possession to Chattahoochee Valley. So ball to the Lady Pirates. Our opening game of 2 today on Championship Saturday here on JockJive Sports. Zone defensive look for Snead State. As we'll have a traveling violation go on pass for Chattahoochee Valley. Snead State out of Boaz, Alabama. They've had a brief lead early on in this first quarter, but so far, at least almost exclusively first quarter, the lead has belonged to the top seed Lady Pirates of Chattahoochee Valley. Here's a three ball to tie, up and off the side rim, no good. As Garcia on the missed three and the rebound to DaCosta for Chattahoochee Valley. Coming down toward the final quarter, or at least the final minute, I should say, of the first quarter. DaCosta, high post, as Hicks at the high post, kicks out, three ball short, no good. DaCosta aggressive that time coming in for the rebound. 50 seconds left now in the opening quarter. As pass off a screen, three ball up and short for Hicks. The offensive rebound put back, no good. Third try for Chattahoochee Valley, no. And the rebound goes to Caitlin Hill as we'll have a whistle and a foul go on Chattahoochee Valley's Gabrielle Pass. Gabrielle Pass, her first, and free throws coming up for Snead State. 37.2 seconds to go as we'll have a substitution as Niall Lee, the sophomore, checks in for Chattahoochee Valley. Snead State off one of their top performances of the season in a 31-point victory over Wallace-Selma yesterday in the semifinal round of this ACCC Division II basketball tournament. First two free throws up and good. So that's the first free throw shots for either team so far today. Caitlin Hill on the board. There's another free throw coming up. That's on the way up and also good. So Caitlin Hill 2-2 from the free throw line, a 1-point advantage for Chattahoochee Valley. Winner advances to play in the district tournament a week from now. Shot clock about 7.5 seconds apart against the game clock. Shot clock at 10. A tough time trying to find someone. Lee as the cutter and offensive foul goes on Chattahoochee Valley. So player control foul at just under 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. And so the ball goes back over to Snead State. They have a chance to take their second lead of this first quarter as Carter Ransom on her second personal foul. Full court pressure for Chattahoochee Valley. Clock down to 6 and a blocking foul. And more free throws coming up for Snead State as Tazi Harris able to draw the foul, the first on Cameron DaCosta. So you have now two players for Chattahoochee Valley in foul trouble. Zy Thompson, one of the top scorers in ACCC Division II, on the bench with 2 fouls and just 2 points. And so Tazi Harris the fourth leading scorer in the conference. Her first free throw's up and good. So one more to go. That ties up the ball game with 6.2 seconds to go in the opening quarter. And we'll have looks as if one for officials stopping play for, not sure exactly, officials timeout here, so looks as if there's a question at the scorer's table, I believe. Maybe checking on as far as making sure they got the correct player with the last Chattahoochee Valley foul. So also Jerry Carter, Rob Ransom with the foul is both free throws good for Harris. So correction at the scores table as far as down across the way on the last foul for Chattahoochee Valley. As Snead State with the lead as the last shot up on the quarter and no good for Summer Hicks as we're through one quarter of play. Defenses have dominated so far as Snead State takes a 9-8 lead into the second quarter here on JockJive.com.
Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
Second quarter here at the University of Montevallo. Central State Bank Arena at the McChesney Student Activity Center, the host for this ACCC Division II basketball tournament. The first of two games today here on Jock Jive Sports. James Hardy with you. Also Nathaniel McCall handling our camera work today. And there you see the number 2 seed Lady Parsons of Snead State. They have the early advantage through one quarter of play. So far, Tazi Harris leads all scorers with 4 points, and both teams have struggled to get things going so far through the first 8 minutes of play. That zone defense has been the equalizer so far in favor of Snead State. There's no offensive rhythm so far for the top seed Chattahoochee Valley. A triple team inside as Thompson has to kick it out to DaCosta. Perimeter shot up, a long deuce, no good as Harris comes in for the rebound for Snead State. For the men's championship later on following this ball game, also number 2 Snead State against top seed Coastal Alabama North. Right now, number 2 Snead State trying to build on a 1-point advantage as they have their first offensive possession of this second quarter. Also a zone look for Chattahoochee Valley. Back into the ball game is Devine as the shot up, and they'll say good before the shot clock expires. Caitlin Hill on the 3 as the largest lead so far today for Snead State. In the regular season, Chattahoochee Valley defeated Snead State in both regular season meetings. Sometimes hard for one team to defeat their opponent 3 times in a single season as DaCosta swatted out of there by Tazi Harris. Loose ball to Snead State as they have possession with 90 seconds played here in the second quarter. A touch foul at the elbow for DaCosta as that is her second personal foul. So second personal foul. And right now, that's also been the story of this ball game as for Chattahoochee Valley, and that's foul trouble to key players. Here's the kick out. Hill, Harris, Devine with it. Tazi Harris skips over against the zone defense. Harris topped the key and walks with the basketball. Harris wanted to shoot the 3 almost from the top of the key and just forgot to put the ball on the floor. So far, outstanding game plan by Snead State head coach Kenny Hill, as his team has been able to keep the offense of Chattahoochee Valley at bay, as they've held the Lady Pirates that have averaged about 70 per ball game to only 4 field goals. Here's the turnaround. That's blocked out of there by Harris. Shot attempt by Niall Lee as the Lady Parsons settle things down. Here's a 3-ball for Devine. Short, no good. And rebound, a foul on Snead State. You had good positioning that time by Niall Lee. And the first foul of the quarter goes on Snead State. That's a costly foul for Snead State, as Tazi Harris, her second personal foul. So just 4 team fouls as far as this first half for Snead State, but 2 each on Mays and now Harris. Chattahoochee Valley has the basketball. Lee, high post pass, as going in. Thompson banks it up. No. Excellent defense at that time by Harris to alter the shot and not pick up her third personal. Here's Devine on the fake. Almost carried it as Hill got free for a moment. Here's the skip pass, Devine. 1 dribble, high post Harris. Good pump fake, gets in, slices in, gets the bucket, and an opportunity for an and one. So Tazi Harris has had a good start so far today, a game-high 6 points, as she has almost half of her team's 14 points, as now Snead State has gone on a 7-0 run to take a 6-point advantage. And that's a big foul for CVCC, the third personal for Cameron DaCosta. So she's going to have to sit the bench for likely the rest of this 7:03 in the first half. Free throw rims out as it popped in and out. Rebound for Zy Thompson. Chattahoochee Valley out-rebounds their opponents by 4.7 rebounds per ball game. Entry pass, Thompson got free. Floater, no good. Offensive rebound and put back, no good for Summer Hicks. And aggressive rebound that time by Tazi Harris. Snead State has the basketball. Caitlin Hill slows it down as Harris in the corner. Here's Devine for a corner 3, short on the line drive. And rebound it goes to Chattahoochee Valley. Leah Younger is able to tap that to Zy Thompson as Younger backs it out. Pass down the baseline. Has to pick up the dribble, needs help. And Younger will recycle the offense against the Snead State 2-3. Younger tries to go off the screen. There's Thompson, top the key, and travels with the basketball. Slid that front foot that time. And so good defense by Snead State forces the turnover. So Snead State gets the basketball back. We've played 3 minutes, 3 seconds of this second quarter. And Chattahoochee Valley has yet to score so far in this quarter. 4 of their 8 points from Cameron DaCosta, who has 3 fouls and on the bench. A zone look as Hill tries to bounce it down low and goes out of bounds off of Chattahoochee Valley. Pass intended for Jemiah Hill into the ball game, Jemiah Hill, as we'll have a substitution. As Zy Thompson and Pierce checks out. Hill gets the inbounds as the dump down. Harris double teamed, forces a shot. No, offensive rebound, and we'll have a traveling violation go on Snead State. So the Lady Pirates have it. Chattahoochee Valley down this entire second quarter. So Snead State so far with their largest lead of this ball game. Snead State right now on a 7-0 run. As here's the 3-ball, up and good for Chattahoochee Valley's Carter Ransom. A big shot for the Pirates. Their first 3 of the ball game, and the first points for Carter Ransom. They'll swing it over. Hill for the 3-ball, side rim, no. Rebound goes to Chattahoochee Valley. We'll see if that gets the Pirates going on that Carter Ransom 3. As also into the ball game, Travesha Giddens, as we'll have, looks like a tie-up, or let's see if it's a foul. No, they'll call a timeout, rather, for Chattahoochee Valley. 30-second timeout, the use it or lose it timeout here in the first half. So both teams have used the timeout so far in this first half. Scoring so far for Chattahoochee Valley, 4 points to lead the team for Cameron DaCosta, and then a 3 from Jerry Carter Ransom, and a couple each from Summer Hicks and Zy Thompson. And also 5 points from Caitlin Hill and 3 from Skylar Lassiter and a game-high 6 from Tyzee Harris. Turns into a full timeout, so we'll take the timeout with them here on JockJive.com.
Just about all white Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Crafts got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
A timeout on the floor called by Chattahoochee Valley with 4:57 to go until halftime, as number 2 seed Snead State has led this entire second quarter. Chattahoochee Valley tries to break the pressure, and a loose ball as the Pirates fortunate to keep possession. And they'll turn it right back over as across the way, Niall Lee shuffled the feet check that Aaliyah Younger that time on the turnover, as she forgot to put the ball on the floor. A substitution for Snead State is back in Emma Garcia, the sophomore forward. Garcia out of Coleman, Alabama. As so far she has failed to score, but Snead State able to hold the top scoring team in Division II with ACCC to 10 points. Nice look underneath the basket as Harris able to bank it up and in for 2. Or I beg your pardon, Jemiah Hill with the layup into the ball game, the sophomore forward for Snead State, has a 6-point advantage for the Parsons. Pirates have it. Once again, a 2-3 zone as high post Hicks turns and has to kick out. Trying to drive pass, forced shot up and rims out. No. Offensive rebound for Hicks. And they'll recycle the offense, will Chattahoochee Valley, as that's tipped and stolen. Not sure who got the deflection that time, but Devine pushes it up the floor. And now Snead State slows it down. Hill tried to pass it that time, and Jemiah Hill not looking for the pass as it goes out of bounds and a turnover. We go under the 4-minute mark here in the opening half, the second quarter of play, as mostly in the first quarter, Chattahoochee Valley had the advantage, but they have not been in rhythm so far offensively here in the first half. First of 2 games today on Championship Saturday here for the ACCC Division II basketball tournament. We'll have a whistle and a foul, and let's see, I believe that's going to go on Snead State. The foul on the entry pass as they'll call Nayla Mays, the sophomore, her 3rd personal foul. Team foul number 2 for Snead State. Also a couple of team fouls here in the quarter for top seed Chattahoochee Valley. Open look off the inbounds as the 3 rolls off the front rim, no good. Rebound goes to Snead State, as they want to try and push the lead up to at least 8, maybe 9 if they can sink a 3-point basket. A zone look as Caitlin Hill has it. They'll swing it over. Garcia for the 3, short, no good. And ball rolls out of bounds to Chattahoochee Valley. Our halftime coverage today will have a special JockJive presentation with our own Robert Williamson with Dr. Michelle Ivey as part of our halftime coverage. Chattahoochee Valley basketball. Aaliyah Younger has the basketball. Entry pass as Hicks has to kick out. NBA three up and good. Nothing but net that time by Aaliyah Younger. She's on the board with her first points, coming in averaging 13.3 points per ball game. That cuts the lead for Snead State in half as they'll try and work against the Pirates zone. A matchup zone. Good entry pass as the shot up and no that time for Jemiah Hill. Defensive rebound rather to Chattahoochee Valley as we're coming up on the final couple of minutes and change of the first half. Three ball for the tie off the side rim for pass. Long rebound to Snead State. McGrew on the rebound. As thinking about the three was Divine. Here's the drive from McGrew. Kick out. Garcia's three up and in and out, no good. Offensive rebound last touched by Chattahoochee Valley out of bounds. So the Lady Parsons keep the basketball. And we'll have a quick substitution, it appears, for Coach Jonathan Richardson, but that'll have to wait until the next stoppage in play. Here's the turnaround for Jemiah Hill, no good. Great defense that time. Zy Thompson, it appears, back into the ball game, that time on the altered shot. Coming up on 90 seconds to go in the opening half. A defensive-oriented first half so far as Thompson tries to drive, gets by her initial defender, shot up and no, but draws the foul. And she'll go to the free throw line as Zy Thompson has set most of this second quarter with foul trouble, a couple of fouls. So that'll be the third team foul of the quarter for Snead State. Back in with three personal fouls is DaCosta. So for Chattahoochee Valley coach Jonathan Richardson, gambling a little bit with DaCosta out on the floor with three fouls. So Thompson to the free throw line as they call the third foul on, looks like, I think, Garcia. Now they're going to indicate on the scoreboard as far as that last foul. Is the first free throw by Thompson, no good. One more to go, however, as that free throw also no good. And the rebound goes to Caitlin Hill. So a missed opportunity that time for Chattahoochee Valley. So Snead State can extend their lead back up to a couple of possessions. They go up against the matchup zone. Now a man-to-man defense for Chattahoochee Valley. Into the ball game, Lassiter, as we'll have travel go on Jaylee Divine, the freshman for Snead State. Pirates basketball with a little over a minute to go here in the opening half. And another substitution for Chattahoochee Valley as Niall Lee, the sophomore, comes into the game. So Snead State's been able to control this game defensively as they've had the lead this entire second quarter as they took an 8-7 lead going in, or check that, a 9-8 lead going into this second quarter. Entry pass to Thompson. She got free and misses the bank shot. I bet Thompson would like to have had that bank shot back as a break for Snead State. Quick three, other way, up and short. No good for Lassiter. Rebound goes to Chattahoochee Valley. They'll try and move it up ahead as they'll slow things down. Good job by Snead State of getting back in transition. 25 seconds to go in the first half. Double team as a little pick and roll action. Thompson kick out. Corner three for Lee. Short, no good. And an easy rebound goes to Snead State. 10 seconds in the first half. Far corner three up and off the side rim, no good as the rebound to Younger at 2. 1 second and a foul in the backcourt for Snead State on Lamaya McGrew. So McGrew on the foul. That is her first personal foul. And so that's the fourth team foul on Snead State. Not a bad foul, however. But the next foul would put, at least potentially put, Chattahoochee Valley at the free throw line, but just 0.6 seconds to go until the half. Inbounds pass for pass. And pass deflected on the inbounds. And so we are at halftime here at the University of Montevallo, as Snead stayed a solid first half as they take a 16-13 lead into the halftime locker room. We'll show you a special halftime presentation from our own Robert Williamson as we'll take first this time out here on JockJive.com.
Played some travel ball, you've shared the videos. Mom and Dad can only root so much. It's time to get real interest from the colleges and scouts in your area right where you live. That's why the Showcase Series is different. We're not just another tournament, we're an advancement event where you get real-time exposure with live TV coverage of our games that get you seen directly by the coaches you want to impress from anywhere in the world. Register for events at showcaseseries.org. It's your turn at bat.
At halftime from the University of Montevallo, 16-13 in favor of Snead State as they've been able to hold the top offense in Division II of the ACCC this season in check. James Hardy with you. Also Nathaniel McCall helping us out with our camera work. A job well done so far by Nathaniel, as we'll go ahead and send it to a conversation that our own Robert Williamson had with Dr. Michelle Ivey earlier this week.
Great to have with us as our halftime guest, Dr. Michelle Ivey, who is the AD at Marion Military Institute, as well as the Women's Region Director. And first of all, Michelle, thank you very much, because the people watching don't know this, but this is take two.
Yes, it is.
Dean literally pulled the plug on us.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
We were having such a lovely conversation, and
We were.
he comes up and ends that conversation.
That's right.
So here we go for a second time. Let's start with Women's Region Director, the duties that it entails.
Okay. So the major responsibility is to be the spokesperson for all of our women's sports teams within the conference, coaches, student athletes. So I'm the liaison between them and the national office. Serve on a couple sports committees, so I promote our student athletes, our teams, whether it's national polls, All-American awards. So I'm kind of the go-between between our region women's teams and the national office.
Now, as a result, you're obviously at national events frequently. So how do you, is it at every women's national championship that you go to, or are there select events that you go to?
Really, it depends on location. So full-time job at Marion, we have 11 sports, and so I go to all of our region, our conference tournaments to help out the commissioner, whether it's men's or women's. And so that takes a lot of time away from my duties at Marion. So very little at the national level. And that's just dependent upon location. If it's in the southeast region, I really try to make those. But if it's Texas, Arizona, Kansas, unless one of our teams is playing at Marion, I usually don't make those.
How did you become regions director for the women to begin with? What led you to that position?
Karen Reynolds, who was a longtime women's region director, previous commissioner, came to a basketball tournament and they said, "Hey, Michelle, we want to talk to you about a position we have open. It's assistant women's region director." Karen was kind of on her way out, retirement in a couple years. So it allowed me 2 years at the assistant position to go to the national convention to kind of see what goes on at the regional and national level. And then when Dean was hired, that was my transition from assistant region director to the head women's region director. So
there has been phenomenal growth in the ACCC, especially over the course of the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
So does that just automatically add to your duties as a result?
Sure. And it's wonderful, especially on the women's side, the growth. That, especially with flag football coming in, volleyball has grown, cross country has exploded in the last few years. So it does add, but that's the good part of being so busy, is to see the explosion, especially on the women's side, to see more opportunity for women student athletes to get that opportunity.
You speak of explosion, and to me, that's a perfect term for flag football, because flag football there is this uncanny interest in flag football. It will start in the fall, but is it just me as an outsider that sees that or thinks that, or do you as an insider kind of get that feel that there is a genuine overwhelming interest in flag football?
I think the last couple of years, especially in the Alabama High School Athletic Association, you hear a lot about at the high school level that it's really grown, especially in the state of Alabama. So I think it's a good time for the conference to piggyback on the interest that there is at the high school level, to give more opportunity for female student athletes to play a sport that they love at the next level.
All right, let's talk about MMI. You as the athletic director, you talk about phenomenal growth. It's happened there at MMI as well. You have athletic upgrades. You've been adding athletic programs. So tell us what's new and what's coming.
So we're up to 11 sports now. Right now, all 9 of our 11, except for cross country, are competing. So it makes for a busy January to May. We have 2 female women track athletes that qualified for indoor nationals, so they'll be leaving next week for Texas Tech, a triple jumper and a long jumper and a high jump. So we're excited about that. That is relatively our newest program. We're in our 3rd year. We've had student athletes qualify for nationals. Obviously, men's basketball is doing a great job. They're here in the semifinals. We've had some record breakers. Softball pitcher, 17 strikeouts in one game, broke our school record. Probably the proudest, we've had 20 straight semesters with a department GPA of a 3.0 or better. So that's 10 years of academic success within our department. So we're really proud of what we're doing at Marion and pushing our kids to the next level.
And really, you got a history of that kind of stuff, because I know a couple of gentlemen, Colin McGuire, who went on to be a manager for Bear Bryant at the University of Alabama. He went to MMI. And then, of course, you got Dwight Stone from Florida, where I live currently, who played there when there was football at MMI, went to Middle Tennessee State, Steelers and Panthers in the NFL. And 2 from my hometown of Florida, Alabama. There is a gentleman who was a Congressional Medal of Honor winner, Rodney J. Evans, who is recognized. You've got like a Veterans Hall of Fame, or what exactly is that?
We have
on campus?
Alabama Military Hall of Honor. It's housed on our campus, and so we have a ceremony every year, and it's to honor those Alabama natives that did an exceptional job in the military, whether Congressional Medal of Honor winners, heroism, did something, while they were in the military, and we honor them. It goes through a very detailed process where you have to apply, and there's a special committee. But yeah, we have a ceremony. We have a little building on campus that they've really done a great job of housing all of the statues, all of the plaques, have relics from different eras of the military. So it's a wonderful little area to go visit. If anybody comes to campus, it's open for visitors to
It is very intriguing, very interesting. So there is an annual ceremony. Is there an annual inductee every year?
There is.
Now, more than one, or is it typically one?
It's typically 2. It's the cadet corps gets involved, and so it's a special event on our campus.
All right, talk about, and I know you don't like talking about Michelle Ivy, but I know that you had a lifetime of sports, so take us back to Michigan, where it all began.
It all began in Bay City, Michigan. That's right. Bay City All Saints High School, year-round athlete, played all the sports in high school, volleyball, basketball, softball, a little bit of soccer, Tried winter track one time. Probably wasn't a track athlete. Basketball was always my love. Got a scholarship to play college basketball at Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida. Spent 4 years there. It was a great opportunity. So I had a great career, had a great opportunity to get my college education paid for.
Hall of Fame career, right?
Yes, Bay County, the county that I grew up in. I was inducted into their Athletic Hall of Fame for basketball, and then at Eckerd College, inducted into their Athletic Hall of Fame for women's basketball.
Wow. Well, I know this is a little late, but congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's a huge honor in both instances. How did you wind up at MMI?
I was the athletic director and women's basketball coach at Judson College, in Marion, just no longer open. It's a sad situation there, but Marion Military had a high school at the time, didn't have a girls' high school athletic program. Athletic director at the time talked me into making the transition from college to high school, which was a whole nother experience for me. I'd never coached at that level, especially starting a high school program with girls that had never played sports, didn't understand the terminology of basketball, and kind of grew the high school portion. Unfortunately, the athletic director had passed away, allowing me to step into those shoes. When we became part of the state system, the high school went away, and so now we're just a 2-year college. And slowly started adding, we brought back men's basketball at the college level, and we started men's and women's tennis, and then we've just continued to grow since then, have great administration backing and understanding the importance of intercollegiate athletics on campus.
And didn't you at one time, where basketball was concerned, if I'm remembering correctly, would have an event like at midnight when the season began? There was an official
We did a Midnight Madness a few years. We sure did. Cooked some hot dogs and hamburgers for the cadet corps to come out, and we did a traditional Midnight Madness. We sure did, and so it was fun.
Now, are you still in that facility? I mean, it's a great. I love the atmosphere in that gymnasium.
We're still there, and we have a great turnout. We have a good turnout from our faculty and staff, and several members of the community that follow us. And probably the last 5 or 6 years, we've had a really good turnout of our cadet corps, and they make it very interesting for the opponents. And seems to have a good time. It's a good experience for the student athletes. It's a good collegiate experience.
To me, and there's so much history, not only in the school but really in the community. I think Corvetta Scott Keene was from Marion as well.
Right.
So that area in general, just a whole lot of history.
There is a lot of history, a lot with the civil rights, and so we try to involve our student athletes into that, because a lot of them are, most of them aren't from that area. We do have a lot all across the nation, and so to bring them into that historical perspective, and we have some that do the Selma across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. They'll do the bridge crossing, and so there's a lot of unique opportunities for our student athletes outside of campus to learn from.
Well, and it's been a delight to have you. We're airing this at halftime, and we were able to keep Dean away from the plug and power.
Thank goodness.
So we were able to get our conversation in. Always good talking with you, and I know we will see you the rest of the tournament.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
A big thanks to our own Robert Williamson, as you just saw his visit earlier this week with Dr. Michelle Ivey from the ACCC. And at halftime, here on the campus of the University of Montevallo, so far it's been a low-scoring first half, with Snead State taking a 16-13 lead at halftime. James Hardy with you, as Snead State had a 9-8 lead after the first quarter, and then the second quarter, just 4 points scored by Chattahoochee Valley in that second quarter, as we are about ready to get the third quarter underway. First half scoring, not a lot really for either team. as the leading scorer for either team was Tazi Harris in the first half with 6 for Snead State. She was followed by Caitlin Hill with 5, and then 3 for Skylar Lassiter and a couple for Jemiah Hill. Chattahoochee Valley, their leading scorer, Cameron DaCosta, with 4, 3 from Jerry Carter Ransom, and then also 3 from Elia Younger and a couple each for Summer Hicks and Zy Thompson. Zy Thompson, the second leading scorer in ACCC Division II. She has been held in check so far in the first half. And we are underway here in the third quarter as Snead State has the basketball in their black tops and bottoms. Entry pass to Hill as she has to kick it out. Harris on the drive, a strong drive against DaCosta, gets the basket and an opportunity for an and one, as that is DaCosta's 4th personal foul. That is a big foul for Chattahoochee Valley as DaCosta, the 5'9" freshman guard forward, has to sit the bench for a while with 4 personal fouls. So that means into the ball game will be Trevesha Giddens, the freshman who played but failed to score in the first half, as the three-point play converted by Tazi Harris. So Harris now up to 9 points a game high. Chattahoochee Valley down by 6 as they throw it away. Steal by Snead State as the layup rolls around and falls in transition. So the nice job that time at the rim by Lamaya McGrew to finish off her first field goal, as now Snead State up by their largest margin, 8 points for this ball game. Entry pass as Zy Thompson floats it up and in for 2. So Thompson, one of the leading scorers in the ACCC, with just her second field goal in this ball game. Chattahoochee Valley, they've scored almost 70 per game, but they are well shy of that total so far through the first half and change. Entry pass goes out of bounds as that's last touched by Snead State. Jemiah Hill could not corral that inbounds pass, has to go off her hands. So the big story foul trouble for Chattahoochee Valley in addition to their inefficiency on offense. A couple of fouls in the first half for Ransom and Thompson, and now DaCosta on the bench with 4. DaCosta got her first foul in the early seconds of this third quarter. Here's the floater up mid-range and no for pass. Rebound goes to Harris for Snead State. Devine across the timeline. Early third quarter. First of 2 games here on Championship Saturday at the ACCC Division II Basketball Championships. A man-to-man defensive look. They'll dump it down. Harris turns in the paint, goes up and under against 2 defenders. Nice job by Thompson on defense, gets the block. And now a tie-up as Chattahoochee Valley comes away with the basketball. So Thompson and DaCosta lead Chattahoochee Valley with 4, as we'll have a substitution as Giddens checks out. Looks as if Carter Ransom back in for the top seed Chattahoochee Valley Community College Lady Pirates. For the men's championship, around a 2:30 tip-off today, as it'll be also top seed Coastal Alabama North, as well as number 2 seed Snead State, as Zy Thompson the other way gets the layup in close, her second field goal of this third quarter. Harris tries to break down Thompson one-on-one, needs help, kicks out, open look 3 for Devine, that's in the hole. So Jaylee Devine on the board with her first 3. That's a big 3 for Snead State to increase their lead up to 7. Lee sends it over to the far side. There's the look, corner 3 up and good, and the answer for Summer Hicks. So check that, Aaliyah Younger, I beg your pardon, her second triple. That cuts the lead down to 4. As Snead State, Harris at the top of the key. Caitlin Hill at the far side. She tries to go in. Good pass to Jemiah Hill. She runs over a defender and commits the offensive foul. Looks as if Zy Thompson in position that time, or possibly Jerry Carter Ransom. Either way, great defense on the interior for Chattahoochee Valley. So both teams with one foul so far in this third quarter. A 4-point advantage for Snead State as top seed Chattahoochee Valley trying to cut the hole that they're in down to one possession. It was 16-13 at halftime. And now Chattahoochee Valley trying to get some rhythm as good penetration that leads to the bank shot up and in for two. So Gabrielle passed her first field goal. A loose ball the other way, missed shot, offensive rebound, and strong putback for Jemiah Hill. Or I beg your pardon, Nayla Mays, her first field goal. Set the lead back up to 4 for Snead State. Snead State has led for almost the last quarter and a half. As off the screen, the three ball up the high archer, and air ball for Aaliyah Younger as it goes out of bounds to Snead State. The Snead State men's team cheering on their female counterparts as the Lady Parsons have been able to control this ball game with outstanding defense against the top scoring offense in Division II. Press break leads an open three, look short for Divine. Long rebound by Carter Ransom. Up ahead is pass in transition as Snead State fills in defensively. Looks like a soft man-to-man look, almost now a 2-3 zone. As the entry pass, Thompson kicks out. Younger denied on the penetration, and now trying to drive in. Lee, her floater inside the free throw line, no good. Offensive rebound, however, as the three ball up and back rim, no. Third try, put up, no, and the rebound to Snead State. A good look for Hicks underneath the basket, but could not finish. Coming the other way, here's a strong drive, and the kick out. Harris now penetrates, gets free, lays it up and in for two. Tazi Harris into double figures with 11. Lead up to 6 as we'll have a timeout called for by Chattahoochee Valley. Jonathan Richardson wants to gather his team, and we'll take this timeout. The 30-second timeout converts into the full as the first timeout of the third quarter, and the lead at 28-22 for Snead State here on JockJive.com.
Just about all White Jones County. Diving catches shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Crafts got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
Along with her cameraman, Nathaniel McCall. We're at the University of Montevallo for Championship Saturday at the ACCC Division II basketball tournament. First of two games today. This is the women's tournament championship as number 2 seed Snead State with a 28-22 advantage over the top seed Lady Pirates of Chattahoochee Valley Community College out of Phoenix City, Alabama. Leading the way for Snead State with 11 points is Tazi Harris, the freshman forward. Harris out of nearby Gunnersville, Alabama, as the team Snead State from Boaz, Alabama. They've been able to at least impose their will defensively for much of this ball game. Here's a three ball up and good. That was a good set look for Chattahoochee Valley's Jerry Carter Ransom. Her second three of the ball game. As coming the other way, Harris in transition, double teamed and has to kick out. Hill, or rather Divine, misses on the three. And all alone on the rebound is Lee as she goes in and misses the layup. And rebound goes to Harris for Snead State. Numbers that they can move for Snead State. As the kick out. And the three ball up, and that rims in and out, no good for McGrew. Offensive rebound as Harris misses in close, but she'll go to the free throw line for a couple. And here's Jerry Carter Ransom on the foul. Or I beg your pardon, Summer Hicks on the foul, her first. And that's the team's second for Chattahoochee Valley. And now head coach Kenny Hill for Snead State wants to gather his team with a timeout. A 3-point cushion for Snead State. A nice job so far as the Parsons defensively, as they've been able to hold one of the top scorers in the ACCC in Zy Thompson to just 6 points for the ball game. And Chattahoochee Valley, 70 points per game that they've come into today averaging, but they've been held to just 25 points through the first 24 minutes of play. As we're just under the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. A media timeout, and we'll step aside, or we'll keep it here as they're just about ready to get out of this under 5 media timeout. James Hardy with you here on JockJive.com, where you can watch all of the ACCC championships here live and on demand at JockJive.com. A free throw opportunity coming up as Tazi Harris, the freshman, a rock-solid ball game for her, the 6'1 forward. The first player into double figures with 11, as the first of 2 rims out, no good. Harris with almost exactly half of her 11, 5 of those 11 to be exact here in the third quarter. Trying to increase the lead to 2 possessions for Snead State, and able to do so as she hits 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. A dozen for Harris, and the lead up to 4. Snead State in the zone that has worked well so far as Hicks pass deflected out of bounds. A nice job that time of Lamaya McGrew, the sophomore, able to swat away that pass out of bounds out of Oxford, Alabama, the sophomore. Inbounds pass by Lee as she has the basketball. Lee has to kick out. Here's the 3 ball up and no good for Carter Ransom. Good box out by Harris on the rebound. Up ahead, bad pass that time by Caitlin Hill as that goes out of bounds to Chattahoochee Valley. A turnover for Snead State as we'll have a substitution as Cameron DaCosta checks in, or I beg your pardon, Zy Thompson checks in. Also, it appears that we'll have, I think that's Jaylee Devine that's going to exit the ball game, and it is the freshman guard forward combo for Snead State. Pass has it. Carter Ransom with a couple of threes. Has pass, tries to force it in, and nice hand set time by Thompson. She's fouled and will go to the line for a couple. The foul on number 20, Emma Garcia. That's her second personal foul. And so her counterpart, number 20, Zy Thompson, back to the line. As also Caitlin Hill checks out for Snead State. Zy Thompson to the line. First of 2 up and good. So Thompson now 1 of 3 from the free throw line. Up to a team high 7. The made free throw would cut the deficit down to 2. Line drive free throw rattles around and falls back through. Couple of solid free throws for Thompson as Carter Ransom some good minutes, checks out for Chattahoochee Valley. The top seed in this ACCC Division II tournament, down by a couple. Pass deflected that time by pass as into Harris as she banks it up and in for 2. Tazi Harris now up to 14 as she has almost half of her team's points. Right now this game, as far as the pace, in favor of Snead State as pass pulls up about an 8-foot jumper up and good for 2. Gabrielle Pass, the freshman, with her second field goal up to 4. So the two teams now starting to find a little rhythm offensively. Open three look for Garcia, up and good. Emma Garcia with her first points of the ball game. A clutch three that time, as that extends the Snead State lead up to 5. So the two teams have scored combined on about their last 5 possessions now, as Lee forces up the shot and draws the blocking foul on Snead State. So the foul goes on Paris Morgan into the ball game, the sophomore for Snead State out of Ripley, Mississippi, her first personal foul, and team foul number 3 for Snead State. Niall Lee, the sophomore guard out of Atlanta, Georgia, has not scored so far today, as her first free throw up and good. Lee with another made free throw can cut the deficit for the Lady Pirates down to 1 possession. So far offensively, the best that these two teams have performed as a team in this third quarter as far as points, but just overall flow to their offenses. 1 of 2 at the free throw line for Lee, and a solid rebound that time by Jemiah Hill. Hill back into the ball game for Snead State. An aggressive trap being shown by Chattahoochee Valley. Chattahoochee Valley in their white tops and bottoms as we go under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Paris Morgan trapped, able to find Garcia. On the drive down the lane as the bank shot up and no, but last touch out of bounds by Carter Ransom. Not able to finish at the rim that time was Harris. As a backdoor cut for Hill, she banks it up and no. And she'd like to have that one back, an open look, but just couldn't finish. Coming the other way, good look as Ransom gets the short jumper to fall. Jerry Carter Ransom, her first deuce, third field goal and a total of 8 as a turnover for Snead State. A chance to tie as the floater up and no good, too strong, as the rebound goes to McGrew for Snead State. Snead State dodges a bullet that time as Todd C. Harris almost met by a double team. Garcia extra pass, corner 3 for McGrew off the top of the backboard, out of bounds. A bad executed shot that time by Snead State. And you could see Kenny Hill across from us, the head coach for Snead State, not pleased with the execution on that 3. So we come up on the final minute of this third quarter. First of 2 games today. It appears this women's championship might go right down to the wire as the 3 for Carter Ransom, no good. And the board goes to Jemiah Hill for Snead State. Across the timeline goes Mays. As back into the ball game is Caitlin Hill, the sophomore for Snead State. High-low look, excellent ball movement that leads to the layup for the Parsons. That's some best half-court set we've seen all day for Snead State that leads to a Jemiah Hill layup. That's the lead up to 4 for Snead State. Chattahoochee Valley has not led since about the 3-minute mark or so of the first quarter. Clock down to 10 seconds left in the third quarter. They'll kick it out as we'll have a traveling violation go on Snead State. Gabrielle passed the freshman, tried to drive baseline, but moved the feet before she could put the ball on the floor. Back into the ball game for Snead State comes Jaylee Devine. And also Jerry Carter Ransom checks out. Just under 6 seconds to go, third quarter. Deflection out of bounds in the backcourt as Summer Hicks back into the ball game with the deflection. 5.3 seconds to go here in the third quarter. As we'll have substitution, Lamaya McGrew set to check in. And looks as if that Caitlin Hill, and indeed Hill, exits for Snead State. We'll have a deflection and goes out of bounds. Last touched by Snead State. Very nice job by Niall Lee to at least caused the disruption on the inbounds, and last touched by Snead State might have been by McGrew out of bounds. A substitution for Snead State. Mays checks out. As they'll have a baseline inbounds, will Chattahoochee Valley. Inbounds goes to Lee, and that's thrown away out of bounds at the scorer's table. So the two teams exchange turnovers. And now Snead State will inbound in front of the Chattahoochee Valley bench. Pierce across the way, just 7 players suiting up today for Chattahoochee Valley. Final seconds, and an over and back violation with a half second to go, as Jaylee Devine had not established position in the front court when she got the basketball at the center court stripe. A half second left to go here in the third quarter. Here's a 3-ball up from the Montevallo logo, no good for Niall Lee as we come to the end of the third quarter here at the University of Montevallo. One more quarter to go as the number 2 seed Snead State Lady Parsons trying to topple the top seed with 10 more minutes to go. We'll step aside for this timeout. Right now, Snead State up 36-32 as you're watching the ACCC Division II Women's Tournament Championship here on JockJive.com.
Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Crafts got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
So fourth quarter has arrived here at the University of Montevallo. We appreciate you for joining us here on JockJive.com, the Central State Bank Arena at the McChesney Student Activity Center. As the advantage to Snead State right now as they scored 20 points in that third quarter compared to Chattahoochee Valley's 19 to extend what was a 3-point halftime advantage up to 4. Harris gets free on the inbounds as she misses in close to open this fourth quarter. As good defense to recover by Zy Thompson as Chattahoochee Valley has it with numbers. Niall Lee will back it out as Chattahoochee Valley, they had an opportunity, or rather, Snead State had an opportunity to extend their lead up to 6, but they couldn't finish on an opportunity to begin this fourth quarter in close. Coming the other way, great defense by Harris as up ahead, a good look as the open layup, good for 2 for Lamaya McGrew. So McGrew, her second field goal. The winner advances to the Gulf South District Championship in Tallahassee next Saturday. The lead up to 6 for number 2 seed Snead State as they have not trailed since the first quarter. Chattahoochee Valley basketball as the pull-up jumper mid-range shot rolls off, no good for pass. A fight for the rebound as it stays with Chattahoochee Valley. 3 up and a big one at the far wing for Aaliyah Younger. That's a clutch 3 for Younger, her third triple of this ball game. Coming the other way, Harris gets free, and she can finish. That's 2 misses in close for Tazi Harris, who scored 14 today. So a made 3 could tie it up for Chattahoochee Valley as they have the basketball. If Chattahoochee Valley pulls it out in a close ball game, those 2 misses could prove very costly for Snead State as a missed 3 that time for Chattahoochee Valley. Carter Ransom not able to connect on the long distance triple. Snead State has the basketball, a couple of minutes played here in the fourth quarter. Here's the entry look. Good hands that time by Jemiah Hill as she's not able to get a good look at the basket. A good double team that time by Hicks as well as Thompson as Chattahoochee Valley gets the basketball. 7 minutes, 48 seconds left in the ball game as the lead belongs to Snead State. The Pirates in white. Lee at the top of the key. A matchup zone look as a good entry as Thompson blocked that time by Harris. Tazi Harris with one of her best ball games so far all the way around in the most important game of the season for Snead State. Snead State trying to put the game pressure late on the top seed. Chattahoochee Valley is the three up and too strong for McGrew, and the rebound goes to Carter Ransom. Coming the other way, Younger right at the near wing. Younger sizes up the three ball up and grazes net and air ball as it goes out of bounds to Snead State. 6:57 to go as we'll have a substitution coming in for Kenny Hill Snead State Lady Parsons squad as Garcia checks out and Caitlin Hill back in. Snead State took a 9-8 lead after one, 16-13 at halftime. And they were able, thanks to a strong third quarter from Tazi Harris, 8 of her 14 came in the third quarter. Here's an open look at the three, and that is a big three for Snead State. So Nayla Mays with her first three of the ball game, and that extends the Snead State lead up to 6. Good look at the high post. Thompson slices through the D and lays it in for 2. Zy Thompson into double figures as the first Pirates player into double figures with 10. Harris inside the three-point line. Kicks out. McGrew goes baseline. Might have had a shot at the reverse layup, but passes it up. Shot clock down to 10. As driving in, the runner up for McGrew. That's blocked out of there and stays in bounds. As picking it up was Hicks for Chattahoochee Valley. Cameron DaCosta still on the bench with 4 personal fouls as she picked up her 4th early in the third quarter. Lee picks up, or at least puts the ball back out on the floor as Younger is there to help. Time not quite an issue right now for Chattahoochee Valley. As cut off baseline that time. As the pull-up shot just ahead of the shot clock, no good. As the rebound goes to Jaylee Devine, for Snead State. Harris, kick out, open look. 3 ball for McGrew, short, no good. Offensive rebound for Hill. She puts it up, no. But she'll go back to the free throw line after it appears the Summer Hicks foul for Chattahoochee Valley. Summer Hicks on the foul, her second personal foul. First foul for either team here in the fourth quarter as Garcia checks back in for Snead State. Couple of free throws coming up. I could increase the lead back up to 6 as we'll have a substitution as Hicks checks out. And back in with 4 personal fouls comes DaCosta for Chattahoochee Valley. A couple of award mentions as far as the ACCC Division II postseason awards, but first, the first of a couple of free throws, no good for Jemiah Hill. Get to those here in just a minute. By the way, Joe Richardson for Chattahoochee Valley named the Women's Basketball Coach of the Year as Hill missed on both free throws, so the lead stays at 4 for Snead State. So Joe Richardson named the Coach of the Year for Chattahoochee Valley as trying to bring her team a little closer to striking distance is Cameron DaCosta. She's able to get the offensive rebound off the miss and hit about a 6-foot shot in the paint for 2. Her third field goal laid it down to 2 for Snead State. So that was a 4-point swing after a couple of missed free throws for Jemiah Hill. And then the DaCosta put back off the miss. Here's Hill trying to back in, shoots and scores off the glass. Check that. Nyla Mays that time with the field goal. She's up to 7. 4-point lead for Snead State. The number 2 seed in this week's tournament, up over the top seed, Chattahoochee Valley. Coming the other way, Zion Thompson kicks out. Mid-range jumper rolls off, no good that time for Lee, and the rebound to Snead State. Halfway through the fourth quarter, as the winner moves on to the district tournament at Tallahassee next Saturday. Right now, Snead State in great position to try and get to the finish line. Pass by Garcia deflected, and the loose ball picked up by DaCosta, and we'll have a whistle, and I think they're going to call a foul in the backcourt on Snead State. Indeed, a pushing foul goes on Emma Garcia, and that will be her 3rd personal foul. Or check that, it appears they're going to call Tazi Harris her 3rd. We're under 4 minutes to go here in the ball game. A media timeout on the floor, and we'll take it with them. And right now, your score with 3:42 to go until we get to the finish line. It is Snead State 43 and Chattahoochee Valley 39 here on JockJive.com.
Just about all Wayne Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
Three minutes, 42 seconds to go here at the University of Montevallo at the Central State Bank Arena at the McChesney Student Activity Center. And so far, Snead State has led this entire second half, and they have led ever since the late minutes of the opening quarter. A 4-point advantage for Snead State as they have held Chattahoochee Valley so far 31 points below their per-game average. Chattahoochee Valley basketball. DaCosta kicks out to Younger. DaCosta goes in from the elbow, and that's swatted out of there, but I think you could hear that time a little bit of contact from Jaylee Devine, and she'll pick up the foul, and that's her 1st personal foul. Just the 2nd team foul for Snead State here in the 4th quarter, and right now also just 1 team foul for Chattahoochee Valley. Free throws coming up as the first of 2 for DaCosta up and good. So DaCosta with 3 of her 7 here in the 4th quarter. Cuts the deficit to 1 possession. This will make it a 2-point lead for Snead State. Up and good. So solid minutes in the 4th quarter for DaCosta, or I beg your pardon, also solid minutes today for Carter Ransom as she checks out. 10 points for her. Full court pressure for Chattahoochee Valley. Snead State able to contain it. They want to use a little bit of clock here, but also not out of the woods. Their lead cut to 2. Their backdoor look intended for Devine goes out of bounds. So Chattahoochee Valley an opportunity to tie, or with a 3 to retake the lead for the first time since about the 2.5-minute mark in the 1st quarter. 2:59 to go in the ball game. That's at the far side. Lee has it back to DaCosta. DaCosta tries to go in. Good defense that time shown by Harris as DaCosta on the feed as the shot up, and good for pass. She ties it up as Chattahoochee Valley with an and-one opportunity. They have a chance at the line to take their very first lead of the second half. Give a lot of credit to the perseverance and resilience of Chattahoochee Valley to battle despite struggling on offense today. As the free throw for the lead up and good. So Gabrielle pass with the free throw. As she's able to make the free throw, now up to 9. 1 point advantage for Chattahoochee Valley. Almost down the home stretch of regulation. Our next game between also a couple of top seeds, number 2 seed Snead State and top seed Coastal Alabama North, scheduled for around 2:30 as we have a foul on the floor, but still 3 fouls to give for Chattahoochee Valley as they'll call the foul, and that's an unfortunate foul, however, for Chattahoochee Valley, as fouling out with 6 points is Cameron DaCosta. So DaCosta will sit for the rest of the ball game as she leaves with 6 points. Anybody's ball game as Snead State, prior to that 3-point play by Gabrielle Pass, had led this entire second half, and they had not trailed since about the 2.5-minute mark of the first quarter. So Coach Joe Richardson's squad, check that, yeah, Coach Richardson's squad trying to get to the finish line, limp their way to the finish line despite a tough offensive performance today. Entry pass goes to Hill, kick out for the lead, up and off the mark for McGrew. Good box out on the rebound for Lee. Check that pass on the rebound, goes coast to coast and lays it in for 2. Gabrielle Pass into double figures with 11. Coming the other way, good up and under, but a little too far under the basket that time was Jemiah Hill. Under 2 to go, as the finish line right now in sight for Chattahoochee Valley as they have come on strong down the final 3 minutes of this fourth quarter. Chattahoochee Valley with the basketball, and they're trying to get a 2-possession lead here. Lee goes in, gets free, puts it up, strong block that time by, looks like Harris, as the rebound to Snead State. They have a chance to tie as Hill the other way puts it up, too strong, and rebound goes to Chattahoochee Valley. Across the timeline comes Giddens as we'll have a whistle and a foul on Chattahoochee Valley, as that's their final foul to give as Caitlin Hill picks up her first personal foul. Next foul puts the Lady Pirates at the free throw line. The announcement of the all-tournament team, the tournament's most valuable player, and of the trophy presentation following the conclusion of this ball game, and the men from Coastal Alabama North and Snead State tip off in less than an hour. Approaching 1 minute to go in regulation. Lee picks up the dribble. Giddens drives in, forces it up, and rolls off no good. Offensive rebound to Thompson. One dribble and smartly passes it out. Clock resets at 20 as the shot clock at 13. About 37 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Thompson tries to back in at 5, forces it up and scores. Zy Thompson up to a dozen as the largest lead of the game for Chattahoochee Valley as they take a 5-point lead and a timeout, I believe called by Snead State. A timeout on the floor as it's a 30-second timeout, or let's say they may even call a full timeout, I believe. Sure. Or I beg your pardon, they'll just say an official's timeout, but either case, a big basket, and now they'll indicate a little confusion as far as a 30 or a full, and they'll call a full timeout, and so we will take the timeout with them. 40 seconds to go in the ball game, and the lead up to 5 for Chattahoochee Valley as you're watching the ACCC Division II Women's Tournament Championship here on JockJive.com.
Played some travel ball, you've shared the videos. Mom and Dad can only root so much. It's time to get real interest from the colleges and scouts in your area, right where you live. That's why the Showcase Series is different. We're not just another tournament, we're an advancement event where you get real-time exposure with live TV coverage of our games that get you seen directly by the coaches you want to impress from anywhere in the world. Register for events at showcaseseries.org. It's your turn at bat.
An outstanding effort by both teams so far today. A 5-point advantage for Chattahoochee Valley as the top seed Lady Pirates struggled for almost this entire second half, and they have come on over about the last 3 to 4 minutes of this fourth quarter at exactly the time that they have needed to try and get to the finish line. 40 seconds to go in the ball game as Chattahoochee Valley almost in bonus territory. It's a good inbounds pass to Harris as she's able to muscle it in for two. A 30-second timeout for Snead State. A strong second half for Tazi Harris as she has a game-high 16. 30-second timeout for Snead State as they are now down to 3 timeouts. Check that. Yeah, 3 timeouts in this ball game. A couple also remaining for Chattahoochee Valley. Possession arrow belongs to the top seed Lady Pirates. And then the next Snead State foul will put Chattahoochee Valley into the bonus. And team fouls for Chattahoochee Valley, just a couple. So if it does come to a one-possession ball game with a Snead State opportunity to tie or take the lead, there are some options as far as defensively that Coach Richardson has for Chattahoochee Valley down the final steps of this fourth quarter. James Hardy with you. We appreciate you for joining us here on JockJive.com. They'll announce the all-tournament team and present the championship trophy to the winner of this ball game following the conclusion. And we'll have a whistle and a quick foul in the backcourt as almost able to get the tie-up was Tazi Harris. So Tazi Harris with her 4th personal foul. So she scored 10 of her 16 after halftime. However, free throws coming up off to our right for Trevesha Giddens. Giddens, the freshman, set to step up for potentially some of her best, most important free throws rather of the season. Well, substitution as back in comes Jaylee Devine for Snead State. Giddens out of Thomas County, Georgia. Opportunity to put her team up by 2 possessions and able to get the roll on the first. So Giddens on the board, her first point. And not always how many, but when you score them. And that is a big free throw that was converted for Giddens. A made free throw would put the lead up to 5 for CVCC. Both free throws good, and a couple of big-time free throws for Giddens as we'll have a 30-second timeout called for by Chattahoochee Valley. Both teams held well below their scoring average so far this season. Also, Snead State has scored just over 69 per ball game as they've been held about 25 points below their per-game average. And still about 20 points below their season average for Chattahoochee Valley. It was just 16-13 at halftime, and Snead State was in great position at about the 4 to 5 minute mark of this fourth quarter to maybe get across the finish line, but a strong surge here in the fourth quarter on the part of the top seed Chattahoochee Valley as they see the finish line nearing with 36.1 seconds to go in this ACCC Division II Tournament Championship. The Division I Championship about to take place in a couple of days up at Spraggins Hall on the campus of UAH is also Snead State. They want to utilize a timeout. So a 30-second timeout. I'll tell you what, a little confusion out on the floor here again as far as who the timeout goes to. And now Snead State will call a 30-second timeout. We'll step aside for this timeout here on JockJive.com.
Played some travel ball, you've shared the videos. Mom and Dad can only root so much. It's time to get real interest from the colleges and scouts in your area right where you live. That's why the Showcase Series is different. We're not just another tournament, we're an advancement event where you get real-time exposure with live TV coverage of our games that get you seen directly by the coaches you want to impress from anywhere in the world. Register for events at showcaseseries.org. It's your turn at bat.
Out of the timeout, the pull-up jumper misses, no good for Snead State as a fight for the rebound, and the jump ball possession arrow brings it over to Snead State. Lamaya McGrew on the pull-up jumper from about 10 feet misfired. And so Chattahoochee Valley with 27.6 seconds to go has a chance to put this game away. So you're going to see Snead State apply full court pressure to try and get a turnover. And if they can't get a turnover, they're going to need a quick foul. Another official's timeout here. Not exactly sure what they'll try and at least sort out here. They'll go to the far side as the possession arrow. I see the possession arrow right now still as far as pointing off to our right toward Chattahoochee Valley, and just making sure everything's on the straight and narrow at the scorer's table across the way. So inbounds for the Lady Pirates as the inbounds pass goes to Giddens. Tries to break it and gets bumped right across the timeline. And a foul on Snead State with 22.2 seconds to go. So Tazi Harris with her 5th personal foul. So she fouls out. A strong ball game for her with 16 to lead all scorers. So that brings in a substitution as Jaylee Devine checks back in. Trevesha Giddens to the free throw line. Could put the game out of reach with 2 free throws as the shot up and good. So Giddens with all of her points over about the final minute of this quarter. Right now a 6-point lead. A made free throw would put the Lady Pirates up by 3 possessions. One more free throw to go. Big shot coming up. That's up and rims out, no good. Rebound goes to Snead State, and a deflection by Giddens, and almost came up with the steal. Devine has it. Time precious for Snead State. That's the clock down to 11, and we're going to have a 10-second violation in the backcourt. And so a costly turnover for Snead State, and that might do it for the number 2 seed Lady Parsons. So Chattahoochee Valley gets the basketball and the turnover. It appears they're going to survive a stiff test from Snead State. As the clock under 10 seconds to go, and a reach-in foul goes on Snead State. Jemiah Hill with foul, her 2nd personal foul. And so Chattahoochee Valley will get their 20th victory of the season as they'll advance to the Gulf Atlantic District Tournament next week in Tallahassee. The Gulf South District Championship, to be specific, in Tallahassee next week. And the free throw coming up, that's up and good. So Zy Thompson at the line. Now with 13. 9 of her 13 after halftime. One more to go for the road. Up and off the back rim, no good. Final seconds of today's ball game. As a steal for Chattahoochee Valley as Niall Lee dribbles it out, and top seed Chattahoochee Valley survives a feisty test from number 2 seed Snead State. Your final score, Chattahoochee Valley 52 and Snead State 45. Leading the way for Chattahoochee Valley, a team high 13 for Zy Thompson. Tazi Harris with a game high 16, but not enough as Chattahoochee Valley advances next week on Saturday, March 8th to the Gulf South District Championship in Tallahassee as they'll represent the ACCC Division II next week in the Gulf South District Championship. A strong finish for Chattahoochee Valley as they're able to improve to 20-6 on the season, while Snead State falls to 21-7 on the season. We'll step aside here as we've come to the end of our ball game here at the campus of the University of Montevallo, the Central State Bank Arena at McChesney Student Activity Center. As we're about to hear down on the floor when it comes to our all-tournament team, the tournament MVP, as well as the presentation of the ACCC District 2 tournament championship trophy. So at the conclusion of the awards presentation, we'll step aside and we'll set things up for a 2:30 tip-off. Also a 1-2 matchup between the number 2 seed Parsons of Snead State and the Coyotes of Coastal Alabama North, the top seed out of Monroeville, Alabama. So for all of our fine folks with JockJive.com, including our cameraman Nathaniel McCall and our very own Robert Williamson, James Hardy wishing you a good afternoon from the campus of the University of Montevallo. The awards presentation about to begin here in just a few moments. So we'll go ahead and step aside here and let you hear as far as some of the sights and sounds prior to our awards presentation, as they're, I believe, getting things settled as far as who gets the tournament championship MVP honors, as well as gathering all of the members of the all-tournament squad. Once again, your final score from the campus of the University of Montevallo: Chattahoochee Valley 52 and Snead State 45.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may have your attention, please. On behalf of the Alabama Community College Conference and Commissioner, Dean Myron, we congratulate all the teams, coaches, and student athletes on a good 2024-2025 season and tournament. A lot of hard work, time, and effort by all enabled us to crown a champion today. The ACCC extends its sincere appreciation to the University of Montevallo Athletic Director Mark Richard and staff for hosting and the hospitality that has been shown. Let's give everyone a round of applause. And now to present the all-tournament team. From Coastal North, Janaria Minutes. From Snead State, Nyla May. Also from Snead State, Tazzy Harris. From Strat Valley, Alina Younger. Also from Chat Valley, Travisha Gibbs. And the tournament's most valuable player is awarded to Cy Thompson of Chat Valley. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to recognize the Parsons from Snead State on the ACCC runner-up finish and a great season. Let's put our hands together for them. Let's give it up one more time for the Parsons from Snead State. And now to present the 2025 ACCC Basketball Championship Trophy to the Pirates of Chattahoochee Valley Community College. Congratulations, Chris, on a great season. Congratulations again to all the teams, coaches, and student athletes for a great season. We thank everyone for supporting each and every one of your teams.